today. Owen Farrell. Such menace. New Zealand showing exactly what they can do. Let's just listen to this roar. It's magnificent! There's no other word!
Can't quite believe what I'm seeing.
And this team goes into English rugby history.
Well, what chance a repeat today? England's stunning triumph a year ago was the start of a run that has seen them victorious in 9 of their last 10 tests. But the complete performance remains elusive. They need it for this one. And although injuries haven't helped this autumn, the message this afternoon is that England have no fear. The All Blacks build-up has been dominated by leaked messages and a constant denial that this is about revenge. But whatever it is that does motivate them today, throw in the quest for an unbeaten season and the huge amount of experience they possess, and it makes for a potent mixture. Dan Carter is the latest to join the Centurions club. So England 2 out of 2 this November after wins over Australia and Argentina. It has been 11 years since the Red Rose completed an autumn series unbeaten. These two have met 35 times, with New Zealand claiming 27 wins, England 7 and just the 1 draw. We are online in high definition and in 3D this afternoon, and kick-off is at 2:30.
History shows that wins against the All Blacks are standout moments, whoever you are, and that rarely are such wins backed up with success next time around. England have done it just once before, 2002-2003, and we know what that side went on to do. The current world champions have motivations aplenty for this. The black shirt itself is normally more than enough. It's fair to say if England win this again today, they will have deserved it. Joe Marler, number 1, with no Alex Corbisiero or Mako Vunipola. Dan Cole is the one change from last week. Dylan Hartley, New Zealand-born, 50th cap. Joe Launchbury, Courtney Laws, looking settled as a lock pairing. Tom Wood, last year's man of the match, captain Chris Robshaw, and Billy Vunipola, the new boy in the pack this term. All three looking to fight the good fight at the breakdown. Lee Dixon holds his place. Last week's first half performance, no doubt central to that. Owen Farrell, 17 match-winning points from him last year. Brad Barrett, Manatu Alangi were England's try-scoring centres then. Billy, 12 threes, and Joel Tompkins have the central task today. Chris Ashton scored last year and last week, but he knows the pressure's on to find his best form. Ben Foden on the other wing, Mike Brown, fullback. New Zealand getting on for 1,000 caps in their 23. That's just silly. 4 Centurions in the team today. That's a record. And 2 of them in the front row. Tony Woodcock and Kevin Mialamu, plus Owen Franks. In fact, it's the same pack as a year ago. Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock. And for Whitelock, like England's Hartley, a 50th cap. Liam Messam, Dylan Hartley's school, first-team captain. He was Richie McCaw, the team's captain, 123rd cap for him. Kieran Reid, his heir apparent. Dan Carter, what a decade he's had. 100 caps now. Aaron Smith, his latest half-back partner. Ma'anonu closing in on the ton. Ben Smith, his try stats in the Rugby Championship stunning. And now he finds himself at centre for the resting Conrad Smith. Julian Sarvier back in after illness in Paris. Charles Piutau undroppable after his display against France. Corey Jane stands down. Israel Dag, full-back. And England 5 men on the bench who started last year's game. And Matt Mullin, who's only capped to date, came 3 years ago. Mullin thrust forward with a loose head injury situation. The All Blacks, the one change on the bench from Paris. Luke Romano back in for Sam Cane, making sure there is cover in all areas.
There were hints of what England will need to beat the All Blacks in the first 40 minutes against Argentina. The forwards drove from deep and direct, and they won the gain line. playing 1 and 2 phases off the scrum half, they retain real tempo. If they turn those 40 into 80 minutes, they have a shot. If they meander, as they did in the second half, New Zealand could exact an awful revenge for the events of 12 months ago.
13 of last year's starting team starting for New Zealand, and Dan Carter will come out first. First played for the All Blacks in 2003 when Steve Hansen was coaching the opposition Wales. Since then, he's been at the very top of his game for 10 years, and such are his attributes. He's therefore been at the very top of the world game for 10 years. 100 caps for the maestro, and Father Neville has travelled to be here to see him today. New Zealand led out by Richie McCaw, and also today that man Carter.
Well, while we rightly acclaim that great centurion and fly half Dan Carter, New Zealand's man of the year is undoubtedly Kieran Reid. Not the most physically imposing number 8, but he is the smartest. If you want to get a handle on what makes New Zealand such a great team, a study of Reid is a very good place to start.
Richie McCaw went on his sabbatical after that loss last year. He must have tossed and turned on that sun lounger for quite some time. England, well, they start with just 7 of those who performed what many saw as a miracle last time out, but those in the England camp didn't see it that way. They knew they were ready, and so it proved. Dylan Hartley, he missed out, but he's not missing out this time. He will go out first on the day of cap number 50 for him. Delighted to be back on the international scene after some time away. Half as many caps as Carter, and knowing that his team need to be at the very least double everything today. Physical presence, desire, skills, the lot.
Well, it's been quite a QBE series to date for Hartley's Northampton teammate Tom Wood. Wood has been terrific in the tackle in the first 2 games, and he has torn into breakdown after breakdown. His line-out combination with Hartley is equally impressive. The flanker with the heart the size of an English oak will not be daunted by any aura, even that of the All Blacks.
Stuart Lancaster has described the All Blacks as the most successful team in world sport. New Zealand going for the unblemished year, as they were a year ago. They've beaten France 4 times this year, Australia 3, South Africa 2. And England, just the once, is arguably the one they've wanted most. The anthems. Melissa. And the Capital Children's Choir now,
Please
Laura
remain
Wright.
standing for the national anthem, led by England's official anthem singer, Laura Wright.
It simply wasn't in the script to lose here for New Zealand last year. It never is for an All Black. A few don't get the chance to put it right. This lot have that chance today, and they are bristling to take it. Joe Marler, what goes around comes around. He missed out on this 12 months ago injured. Now injuries to others raise the curtain for him to play a major role. Here comes the haka. Great moment for the players and also the crowd as they come up with their own response. What did Manu Tuilagi say after the haka last year? Let's play rugby. England supporters hoping that their team does not miss Manu too much today. He was inspirational last time.
Yes, and England have had a slight problem with penetration in their last two games. Tuilagi was a star, but Rob Shaw, Wood, the back row, and as the boys said before the game in the second row, the area where England won that game was at the breakdown, with Craig Joubert very, very keen on breakdown refereeing. New Zealand will know England are coming for them.
Yes, Craig Joubert, the man who took charge of the last World Cup final, our referee on the ground where the next one will take place. The host nation trying to put itself in a position to make it all the way. The world champions will expect to be there.
Okay.
These two are going to get to know each other very well on the rugby field. A three-match series to come in New Zealand next year, then a final meeting before the 2015 Rugby World Cup here next year. But this is about the here and now. England looking to prove today that the famous meeting of 2012 was not a one-off. And men new to it, like Billy Vunipola, like Lee Dixon. Taken by Dag and given to Reed. In such try-scoring form this year, in such form generally, what a year he's had. Across the All Black line for the first time, and here's Ben Smith, and talking of tries, he could not stop in the Rugby Championship scoring them. Nonu after Brown, Brown under pressure, England under pressure.
Too easy there for New Zealand to get the width on it. England were very narrow in their defence, and they were just outpassed. Aaron Smith, very quick with his first pass from scrum half, and England always struggling there, and you felt they should have done better to cut New Zealand off. What an attacking situation for the Blacks. Last week in Paris, Sam Whitelock was brilliant in the line-out. We know about Retallick, we know about Reid. England need to disrupt, and they need to disrupt early. New Zealand in a brilliant position.
Very worrying start here for England, this position. Mialamu, the ageing warrior at hooker, 34 years of age now. Throws to Retallick. England get hands in, but not enough to win the ball. Down goes Messam. Wood trying to go through. It's Smith short side to McCaw. Dropped by Carter. Inside it goes. Oh, England have left a gap. And Joubert has walked straight through it.
Or was that Kieran Reid with another touch of genius? Have to check.
Just have a check. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Gareth, timeout. Have a look at the touchline, please, before the last pass.
Touchline before the last pass.
Yeah.
Okay, stand by.
It's a genius pass, but was it in field? Nigel Owens, referee of the moment, thought it was. Kieran Reid, look at this, so strong. Oh, he's in field there. 3 Englishmen lured into Reid, and Joubert scores the try. Quite wonderful. The man of the year has just produced a moment that is sublime. England lured into the spider's web, New Zealand with the first score.
Reid has done it again, Joubert has done it again. 2 tries here last year.
Thanks.
And without even 2 minutes on the clock, he's got another. England supporters were right to be worried about that situation. Joubert, 17 in just his 19th international, and Reid once more the creator.
Look at this, Buzz. 1, 2, 3 Englishmen lured in, and Joubert has a clear run. Ashton, Vunipola and Dixon are there. Yes, you can say, have England committed too many, but you cannot argue with the quality of this. Picked up on the half volley. Good a little slip pass, as you will see.
Two from 4 last year. Not the kind of record you would normally associate with this man. When New Zealand were strangely off colour. But those black shirts and the supporters of that team will be simply delighted with this start. Will Greenwood.
Balance of the back row, the line out scrappy, but Liam Messam, brilliant all year, tidies up the bits and pieces.
England into it.
Let it go!
Foden on the restart. Tompkins went with him. Here's Vunipola. Brother injured and out of the game, out of the squad. Launch spree. Dixon. Farrell. Billy, 12 trees. So nearly made an important intervention near his own line early on, but England lost the ball. Or didn't win it.
Yeah, hands on, ball is out.
And certainly lost the outcome of that situation. And they lose this little battle as well. Hands in the ruck, penalty to the All Blacks.
On the ground, on your feet before you play the ball.
That ball goes to the ground and it's in the ruck. England are going to need quick ball. New Zealand will have been stung by the way that they were battered at the breakdown last year by England. And we know what quick learners the All Blacks are. So England cannot expect a monopoly of ball there. And New Zealand very quick. Well, look at this. England very slow in their lateral drift across, and you cannot enable New Zealand as much space as we see here. It's just too easy for Nonu and the Blacks to make 40 metres, no pressure, without the All Blacks doing anything to fix the midfield.
Step black. Step in black. Yes.
26 tests since they lifted the World Cup, just the one loss here. Taken by Messi. Had to really fight for his place this year. with Luatua. That's gone out straight into touch. Good pressure there. Dixon setting a bit of a standard.
Hands are on.
And Aaron Smith forced into a mistake. Look at Dixon thrown in there, terrier-like.
I know it sounds a contradiction. England's line-out has started well.
Now Dixon throws into midfield and 12 threes. England certainly have two big men in those centre roles in 12 threes and Tompkins. And they get a penalty. Their turn at the right.
All away, 10.
I was saying, Miles, that it sounded like a contradiction when you're 7-0 down after 5 minutes, but England's line-out started well. New Zealand under pressure, and Dixon was able to get to Aaron Smith, and hence the possession for England. And even though New Zealand scored try, Courtney Lawes does really well and puts them under pressure. And Messam's going backwards. He's done superbly well against Retallick there with his right hand. But New Zealand, with the genius of Kieran Reid there, were able to make something out of a retreating ball. So the England line-out good, but Reid, genius.
Young Farrell, 4 penalty goals last year in this fixture, equalled the England record against New Zealand. His points took England into that 15-0 lead. He got a drop goal as well that day, and he started with a penalty goal this afternoon. There is an element of the closing down cell, isn't there, about England's kicking for post today. Simply everything must go. And it did from Farrell.
Everything's going to have to work for England if they are going to win this match. Farrell's goal kicking, fundamental there. Stuart Lancaster knows England cannot miss the kicks they missed against Australia. Everything has to be taken.
Taken again by Vunipola. It's time for a restart.
Onside, yeah.
Taken back in, so Farrell opts to run it out of defence. He'll be concerned about the direction of his kick, though. He becomes the latest player to kick it out on the full.
Big error there from Owen Farrell. It was smart. He'd seen that New Zealand were not closing down that blind side, but horribly one-footed. If you watch that, that had to come off the left foot, and it was on the right, and it was difficult.
Lovely quick ball there from Reid, right off the top. Nonu takes it into midfield. Here's Smith, lined up. Kieran Reid by Tom Wood. Cries of hit him from the England players.
Use it.
Call of use it. Oh, that was pushing the 5-second rule, wasn't it? Smith to Carter, Nonu again. That's deflected off 12 trees. Lawes is trying to get a hand on it. So to his second row partner, Launchbury, and he succeeds. Dixon. Crowd pleased with the way England cleared their lines.
Well, that's one for the England defence. Nonu has really worked on his attacking game, that little chip kick of his, but England put the squeeze on him there really well. Lawes amongst those who got to him. England did well.
Look at the pace New Zealand putting on it again. No hanging around at the line out, straight to Reid. Milamu back to Smith. Carter crossfield, he's looking for Piatau. Another major threat, it's a beautifully weighted kick. He finds Dag, who really is a rugby player made to tear it up. Retallick, Nonu, England coming forward, but the width again from New Zealand. Reid so often finds himself in those channels and is so good at it. Savia back to Reid, he's looking for another killer offload. It's picked up by Retallick. And the pace is relentless. Smith to Carter. England trying to hold it up. They've done it. Again, a big round of applause and cheer for the defending.
Blood.
And it seems to be all defending at the moment from England.
Well, England's defence looked all right against Argentina last week, but what's going on at the moment? Dan Cole and Courtney Lawes are trying to cover a huge area, and New Zealand again are getting men wide. Kieran Reid is involved with a pass, and then the inside ball, and New Zealand are just getting behind England's first line with ease, and if they keep conquering the gain line, then England are going to leak further tries here.
The space is in the width bounds, isn't it? Because they're just attacking and playing with such tempo. They're setting the line up, they're getting the ball in, Stuart, they're going off the top. Quick line out again, bring it down, play. Carter's varying up his game, cross kick, over the side to Pieta. They're trying to move this England pack around. They know there are lots of new combinations. They want to break that ability, they want to break that defensive stability of England by shifting in and allowing you to isolate them in the wider channels.
Well, the biggest difference thus far in the 3 games this autumn has been tempo, though. England's defence has been okay against teams that take their time, but this is another world.
Absolutely, Smith is all over this at now, and he wants to get the ball in and away. Kieran Reid, he's just playing such wonderful rugby, wants the ball in his hands as often as possible, and they trust their back three in midfield to handle well. Rotalik a minute ago, he was in the back line, you're doing a decoy pass with someone in around the back, Nonu width. They're all so comfortable on the ball. That's why we keep going back to it against New Zealand. You got to hit the breakdown, you got to smash the breakdown, you got to find a way to slow them down. Otherwise, you know they'll score 30, and it's a huge challenge to score 35 against these boys.
And to do what they did in Johannesburg at Ellis Park against South Africa just shows how good New Zealand have been this year, what the challenge is for England in this match.
You know, the Box got 4 tries, didn't they? But Brian Habana scored 2 absolutely world-class individual scores. Do England have the players to do that? It's a big challenge, but it's only 7-3. Warning signs there for England, but New Zealand haven't won this game yet.
Is this a potential point of difference? Of course, no Lions in Corbisiero and Vunipola. Marler, as you can see there, with the job of loose head today. All Black scrum. Freaked a couple of times in the Rugby Championship against Argentina. And against France last week in Paris. In it goes from Dixon. England look for the drive, but it's a messy ball for the scrum half. In danger of being caught and trampled on, and over the top go the All Blacks. And it's a penalty. McCaw takes it on first. Rotalik involved. Smith, up they come on Carter. Nonu intercepts him, but no, it was advantage. Ben Foden, hate to break this to you, Ben.
That was a miserable moment for Ben Foden. No one was going to catch him, but the advantage for the penalty was being played. Craig Joubert called it very early. And off that scrum, how fast will the New Zealand pack through? Carter, one assumes, will be going for 3 points here.
Just hang on, not now, Chris. Just wait. I've got 2 blokes over there.
Messing thinking about the quick one, but as Craig Joubert points out, poor old Tompkins and Foden have all the way to come back. In the end, all it's done is take some gas out their tank.
Well, that's a good New Zealand scrum. And Aaron Smith very fast through. Messam does very well. He gets them going backwards. Whitelock gets Dixon out of the way. Great attack from New Zealand.
I think the call was number 7, Rob Short. And there you can see, never fully retreats, comes in at the side, broke the offside line, and now Dan Carter has this chance to increase the New Zealand lead and re-establish that 7-point gap. We'll say chance. I think we know what's going to happen. And it does.
You know, Chris Robshaw gives the penalty away, but I have a little bit of sympathy for the England captain, because when you're getting steamrolled and march backwards as quickly as England were, it's very hard to get yourself behind it. England go quickly. Great chase by 12 Trees.
Let it go wide, 2. Onside.
Smith having to get that very high. England were right on him again. Launchbury can't get it. 12 Trees can. Dixon. Farrell. Had a look outside, but it's through the middle first, and Marley. Dixon again, finds Hartley, a good offload to Launchbury. Tackle from Carter. It's another aspect to his game, of course. Dan Carter, he's the complete fly half. Here's England's Farrell. Ashton off the wing. Tompkins. The old Wigan boys. Penalty. And another breakdown, England holding on. Trying to get the numbers there in time.
Holding on, arriving play.
Well, initially it was very good. They got
Number
Marler
14
coming around first,
play.
and there were a couple of second passes that England got forwards running hard and over the gain line. But as happened last week, when England go very wide, they don't always get the numbers there. And I'm a little bit surprised England aren't just staying in between the 2:15. You had a feeling once they start going one side of the pitch to the other, New Zealand will get the numbers there quickly, and hence the penalty goes the way of the All Blacks. Initial work is really good, but as England go wide, their game just unravels. And look at this, 1, 2, 3 men there very quickly. McCaw fast in, another penalty against England.
Yeah, the numbers were there. Mealamu to Whitelock. Carter with the chip, it's meant for Ben Smith, he's just running onto it! Laws gets to him, but it's already back with Smith and Carter again, and there's space on that side if Savir can take it, which he does. But that time, it is adjudged to have gone forward again in this deafening noise at Twickenham. The players not hearing the whistle. Can't be blamed for that.
Yeah.
Well, England aren't at the races defensively at the moment. Every time the ball gets into the New Zealand midfield, England are in trouble. That is a consummate kick from Dan Carter. Again, such fast ball off the top, and then Carter, left foot, gorgeous kick. Ben Smith comes in there and you think it's on. Mike Brown just about does enough to stop him, but that was lovely play from Carter. We're seeing width, and then the chip game just to keep England thinking.
And Smith nowhere near offside there. It was judged to perfection by Carter.
Hits and chase.
So England going early. View of the last scrum in their minds. Decisions going New Zealand's way, but they are creating those moments in the match. There's Smith to another. Dan Carter not moving as freely as normal. And those golden boots today. Still doing some great things, and through goes Franks. England caught again right across that gain line, and there are numbers here for New Zealand. Reid is one of them, and Reid created one, now he's scored another. Surely he's going to be the World Player of the Year. And the world champions, well, they normally have very little to prove, but perhaps today they do, after what happened here a year ago. A year ago he scored, but at the moment it seems he's well on the way to victory.
Well, it's Franks this time who makes the bust. Second row, a brilliant offload there from Retallick to Franks, and then England get caught as New Zealand come back against the grain, and Dag's pace just draws them in. And Kieran Reid, it seems that every time he stations himself 5 metres out, it's going to be a score. Here we're seeing the Franks bust again. That gives them the quick front football, it gives them the momentum. Dag checks his man, and Reid outside, glides outside Foden, and yet another score. The damage done by Retallick and Franks, and it's Reid and Dag to finish England off. This is the nightmare of all nightmare starts for England. They just can't stop the pace of New Zealand.
And because of that, no New Zealand number 8. Scored more tries in international rugby now than that man Kieran Reid. No kicker in international rugby has scored more points than this man, Dan Carter. He's never worn those before though. On the day of his 100th cap. It's about as close as it could get this week. New Zealand doing it for one man in Carter, and they're certainly doing it well.
Aren't they? Retalic's hands in the midfield for Franks. They're also comfortable on the ball. Once they get in behind, they just go to Dag. Where's Dag? Dag calls to Smith, up a short side, picks off Marler. Reid is a real poacher. Just so diff. They've got to slow this down and get a frontline defence, making sure the first hit takes place.
Tony Woodcock has obstructed there on the restart. England get a bit of relief.
Well, here's an interesting call for Chris Robshaw, because England couldn't half do with something to lift this crowd and themselves. 3 is the obvious point, but into the corner and try and drive them. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call there. That's not an easy call, because the 3 points is the obvious one, but I think Chris Robshaw has got that right. Try and lift the crowd.
Tried it last week, it worked. Opposition slightly different though. Laws. England tried this as well, the rolling more, and it worked very well against Argentina.
Use it once.
Lee Dixon's got the use it call. And he's got the penalty as well.
Swimming up the side, number 5.
Well, now England go to the corner again, I think, because that line-out was going well. You know, it's a dual option here. You go for the corner and you go for the other penalty, and you look for a yellow card against New Zealand.
Well, having made the decision
first time,
it's got to be this call.
Well, scrum was one option, but you've got to think the last scrum New Zealand actually got the nudge on. And England's line-out has been problematic for New Zealand. And going well on its own throw.
To Launchbury. Look at the way New Zealand hit hard in that drive, and England come back. Managed to keep the last ball moving. And that one is crashing to the floor. Dixon wondered whether New Zealand had pulled it down. Looked straight to the referee. McCaw tries to get in, to make himself the nuisance that he has been to opposing sides so many times over the years. England to put in.
That's a fact of life. That driving ball was only going one place, and that was down. Brilliant in attack. New Zealand know how to defend their try line when they're 5 yards out. And if they have to pull it down, they will. England got to move on there. Dixon definitely calling to Craig Joubert there. Had something in it. Look at Kevin Mayalamu here.
Right. Guys, I'm looking for stability after the hit. No hits and chase. After the hit, yeah.
Good drive from England, wasn't it? Good drive.
Now they need another at the scrum.
It's got to be more solid than the last one. It's got to give Vunipola a platform, a foundation.
Set.
Seen many an All Black team over the years happy to concede a 3-pointer in these situations. England are going for a try here. Got another penalty. Vunipola. Out it comes. Farrell.
Lost forward.
So after the knock on, it will be that penalty call. England have to keep going here.
They go back to the line out, one assumes. There is a call though, you know, that we've had 3 or 4 goes. Let's take 3. There is a call, because the flip side of England have to keep going is they've had 3 cracks, 2 line-outs and a scrum. If England don't come away with something here, albeit 3 points, Miles, that is a hammer blow to them.
Oh, chips are on the table here.
Yeah, they're happy. England have put the big ones down.
Okay.
But could you back down? Robshaw is not going to, but he needs his pack himself to deliver here. Once again, New Zealand get the first part. Absolutely right. And once again, England comes straight back at them. England need this, the crowd need this, they're almost there! Are they there?
Okay.
Ben Foden on this near side was celebrating. I don't know how he can see.
Top technique. It's great technique there.
Okay, Nigel, I'll come to you now, just hold on.
What's the question?
The ball went to ground, it was definitely short before. You
Right.
can check afterwards, it was definitely short before.
Okay.
Big
And it was
guidance
a
from
maul, wasn't
Nigel
it?
Owens there.
Yeah. Okay, Gareth, so Nigel's got the ball short initially. We're looking at post that if it did get over the try line. So try, no try.
Okay, try, no try. Checking now.
We should be going forward at such a speed.
So it's not any reason why it can't be awarded.
Really good momentum there. Well, that looks to me, that looks like a try. Because England aren't stopped there. They're going at real liquor pace. Ball does go down early, but England have got all that collective weight driving them. Logic tells you that ball is over the try line.
But the question is vital here, because Nigel Owens does see it go to ground just before the line. It's what he pointed out to Craig Joubert there. That is just short, but then, as you say, the drive continues. But Gareth Simmons has to see the end result.
Ball down, being driven, he has to be over there. There's no New Zealander to stop it. Down, he keeps moving, he's over the line.
This is a fascinating test of the TMO decision-making process.
99 times out of 100, if there's no TMO, that's a try. I think it is a try.
Craig, can you hear me?
Yes, Gareth.
Yes, the ball was down short of the line and there's no picture I can see of the ball grounded over the line.
Okay, so it's inconclusive. We're going to go
Yes.
5 metre attacking scrum. Yeah.
Crowd
okay,
aren't going to
thanks.
like this, but we just sort of knew that was going to be the outcome. England have gone all the way back into their own half, bar Owen Farrell expecting the conversion.
Got a Stuart Lancaster shaking his head in genteel disapproval, but I can understand why there. You couldn't see it grounded, but you couldn't see a New Zealander anywhere near it. That's a try.
As soon as Nigel Owens said it, if he'd gone on to say it was grounded, but then momentum took the player over and I thought there was a try scored, then Craig Joubert's question would have been a very different one.
I will say, you know, there's all sorts of technical questions that are involved with TMOs, but that was a try.
Bind! Set! Yes, 9!
England have to put it out of their minds and do it all over again. They can't control at the base of the scrum, but it might not matter.
Well, this is TMO territory. There's a sequence of potential knock-ons here.
Lots of questions.
Gareth, have a look, try, no try. The ball's rebounded all over the show.
It certainly did.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, Dixon looked as if he kicked it back into the England scrum, who are accidentally offside, first of all to me, and then it's a veritable pinball. Watch Dixon now. You can't see from that angle.
No, it came off Smith.
I think before then,
No knock-on so far.
is
Now was Launchbury offside?
That's the question.
Thinking the same thing.
Knock on from
There's a
Kieran
knock-on
Reid.
from Reid. That doesn't matter. Half controlled by the boot. It's all about, I mean, Rob Shaw would have been offside.
Yes.
It's all about whether Launchbury was offside. Hits Aaron Smith, so no problem with Dixon, as you were alluding to, going back in the scrum. It didn't.
Oh, he's onside.
And he doesn't knock on. Try.
It's not a thing of beauty, but I think it's going to be 5 or 7 points.
Might not be a thing of beauty, it might be a thing of justice, though.
I'd say that.
Well, the captain has scored from short range in this series, but he'll be relieved
Craig,
to
can
pick
you hear
that
me?
one up. Launchbury, as he scored again.
Okay.
Is I've got the ball ricocheting. I've got a white player who is in front of the kicker, who doesn't actually pick the ball up. The guy that picks the ball up is in an onside position and scores a try. So unless you can give me information contradicting that, I'm going to award a try.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
They got that. Players and officials.
And England, like France last week, are just showing an Achilles heel in this New Zealand team. The Blacks were distinctly uncomfortable through those line-outs. They buckled at that scrum. They've got a little bit lucky, but Launchbury has bailed out Chris Robshaw, and it's a good finish. Launchbury, another try for England, and in the nick of time. 17-3 down, England had to strike next, and they have.
And Farrell gets his conversion. So if England were playing the mind games, they could perhaps tell themselves at the moment it was just that early aberration in defence that has cost them 7 points. I think the truth of it is that there are a lot more issues out there when the All Blacks have the ball in hand. But England are back in the match courtesy of their forwards.
Game of two types though, isn't it? In the loose, New Zealand on top. In the tight, England looking to have a dominance there.
Can England keep it tight?
Move away.
Got a penalty. And Dixon, well, he wants the All Black style of tempo, but England also vowed to play the game at pace. And Farrell's kick is straight down the throat of Savea. Israel Dag. Farrell again. Kicking game has to be spot on in international rugby these days, but especially against these men. Piatau. That did go out.
New Zealand will counter-attack, but if it's not on, they're more than happy to kick. Dag will kick a lot. Piatau, deadly runner. Finds a good kick. Dan
Carter's not right, Stuart. Just been watching him, and I think, yeah, Aaron Cruden has stripped off. Oh, what a shame.
What an anticlimax, eh?
It was a crying shame when he couldn't take part in the World Cup. Others perhaps had a different view. They didn't have to come up against him, but as a rugby neutral, it was a bitter blow, and that will be a bitter blow to all true rugby fans. And his father too, Neville, there. Carter, who's had his injury problems well documented in recent times, gets another. On the day's 100th cap. Farrell. Dag. Here comes Mike Brown. That normally means a catch, and it does again. Been involved in England's best attacking back moments in this autumn series, Brown. Farrell's going for that himself. Was that a late challenge? Yes, it was.
I think we're going back to the initial one. I think Farrell milked that one.
Was certainly looking for it.
There's been a number against tacklers not rolling away. If the trend continues, the next one goes to the bin.
Yeah, it was for not rolling away.
New Zealand with ball in hand, they love nothing more than quick ball, but when they don't have that ball, they will do anything to slow it down. And I think penalty count going against them at the moment. Nonu making the tackle, Nonu not getting out of the way, and Dan Cole does very well because his right boot is there, dying to rock him. Here's Farrell running straight into Brodie Retallick.
He did run straight into him, although Retallick was going nowhere, was he? But then he's entitled to stand his ground. Here's Hartley. Launchbury, well taken by Robshaw. Vunipola. Waited for this moment as Billy Vunipola. Not too long, he's young, but you know what I mean. Dixon. Farrell. Lost by Tompkins. Brother Sam's on his way to play rugby league in New Zealand with the Warriors. There's Joel Tompkins, England's Union international. Ham's just letting him down there.
Once again, England's initial play from the forwards is very good. The line-out's excellent. Launchbury with a ball there to Robshaw, trying to get Vunipola over the gain line. His secondary surge is a very good one, but then in midfield, England can't quite turn the initial quality ball into something, and the Saracens' centre partnership of Farrell and Tompkins doesn't quite function, and the knock-in goes. Good start for Billy Vunipola. It's a massive step up in his career. He's carrying that gain line.
Signed with Saracens these days, of course, having left Wasp, joined his brother Mako. So one of the reasons why he signed with his brother, so he didn't have to tackle him. He didn't like that. Brothers didn't like having to tackle each other in the match situation.
Set. Yes, none.
Aaron Smith to Israel Dag.
Super play from New Zealand. That was a very powerful scrum. They got the nudge, they got the direction on it, so very first touch. But Dag standing in the fly half position has all the time in the world. Look at this, he's got Marler sideways going in, and that was plenty of time then for Dag for a low scudding kick.
Hartley to his Northampton Saints colleague Courtney Laws, and there's another, Lee Dixon.
All the way out.
Ben Young's on the bench. Having been out last week with a hip injury. Dixon the starter for all three for England this autumn. Savia. Well, that's not his best pass, but it still worked out for Piatow, who is dead. The latest weapon produced by New Zealand, endless line. Nonu, of course, falls into that category. Said that Carter is the complete 10. Well, Nonu has become the complete midfielder.
No advantage, 12 in front of the kicker.
Referee back for that offside. 12 trees had strayed.
Yeah,
he wasn't the only one, you know. Robshaw alongside Farrell, he was there as well. As is interested, if Dan Carter's on the pitch, he would be
12
looking.
white in front of the kicker.
No, Aaron Smith, you know you're not going to do that. I was about to say 45 metres.
7 in front
then
of
New
the
Zealand
kicker.
would be looking for goal with Cruden there. He doesn't have that range, but now we're back the other side of the 10-metre line. This is in Aaron Cruden range. What's Chris Robshaw? What's Billy 12 Trees? I think Robshaw's not doing a disservice, but 12 Trees certainly. Oh, they both are, yeah. Two chasers, it's just little errors there.
Cut of the grass gave it away. Well, 12 Trees really gave it away, didn't he? He was way in front there. But that's where the All Blacks push you, isn't it? To making those errors, the ones you wouldn't normally make. And talk about quality replacements. This man, Aaron Cruden, the man who did start the World Cup final, of course. He's had an excellent year when Carter's been out injured. And he's been doing that time and time again.
Might be 20 points to 10, but England's lineup is outstanding at the moment. Even if it's a tap, they tidy it up, they pick it up, the error count is low. It's giving them that platform that they can just claw their way back into this game.
Taken by Whitelock, given to McCaw. Aaron Smith. Mike Brown again. Gets away from the first would-be tackler and then 2 and 3. Stopped in the end, but he made great ground there. Here's 12 Trees. Love to get his distribution game going, but easier said than done.
12 Black.
Dixon still got it. Wood to Robshaw. Tompkins. Really haven't seen his offloading in this autumn series like we do for Saracens. Vunipola. That's the reality of international rugby. Launchbury, who took to it like a duck to water. England's player of the series last autumn. Part of that drive, part of that penalty.
Number 8's coming in the side. Hold on. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
And he promised a sin bin.
8's come here, please. Your mate didn't survive the clean out, so we're in a play-on situation. You've come in the side of a subsequent rack.
Is that a tackle?
Yeah, tackle situation in the side.
Joubert puts his foot down and his hand in his pocket too.
Well, 7 penalties conceded by New Zealand in the first half hour or so, and a number of them have been at the breakdown trying to slow it down. Steve Hansen's shaking his head there. New Zealand very adept at slowing teams down. Kieran Reid, number 8, keep your eye on him. Diving from the side.
Degree of difficulty on the dive?
I thought it was sort of the 50-metre final, actually. A dive it was, and a warning had been given, and the right decision is reached by Craig Joubert.
Bit of a flop in the water, really, on that one. Here's Farrell. And as with Carter and now Cruden, with that kind of kit, really don't have to look at it to know what the outcome is going to be. England within range again.
Well, they've stabilised the ship, haven't they? 17-3 down after not very long at all, after what, quarter of an hour. They'll be very happy with where they are now. They're back in this game.
And now with an extra man for 10, possibly, probably crucial minutes in this match. England really have to take advantage of this with Reid off the field. The flag is up on this side.
Choice, line out scrum. If you want to get the benefit of 1 foot in touch for the quick throw, you have to make the effort to at least bring your foot outside of the other player. No. Gentlemen, the decision is...
Clear enough.
England, do you want to line out, do you want to scrum?
fair.
Illegal throw. Illegal throw, line out or scrum, England.
Yeah, it can't be New Zealand ball now after that.
So it's an illegal throw, so they get an option.
So often you see that
What are we doing,
unpunished.
Yep.
Line out it is. Yeah, line out.
Yeah, so it's an illegal line-out throw. Because we haven't seen that from hookers in the last 20 years, have we?
But they let go 5 metres in, don't they?
Yeah, the moral of the story is get about 7 blokes standing close to you so you don't see.
Fine.
Laws takes.
That's a dynamic line out there.
Extra man in the pack with
Picked
Reid
it up,
off.
he caught it, play on.
England will get the benefit of this either side of half-time.
Extra man against the All Blacks. Those are the small parts, Miles. You feel they have to come away with something before half-time.
Hardly. 50 caps, he'll know that. Tom Wood. Dixon. Farrell. And breakdown in midfield. It's Tompkins once more. Picked up by 12 trees, but it's a clear knock-on, and frustration there from Lee Dixon. And no doubt Joel Tompkins as well, the perpetrator.
It's not happening in the middle at the moment, is it? It is happening at the line-out, though. From the very first moment when Law's disrupted, he's looked sharp. Not only does he take this ball, what does he do initially? Drives himself forward. Rob Shaw's there, and England are getting a couple of metres extra, and it gives Dixon the front foot. But again, Tompkins and Farrell, the timing of their lines just all wrong there. Just about overrun him, and not for the first time. He has taken his eye off the ball.
Crouch! Bind!
Got to try and prove he's not just keeping
Set.
the seat warm for Manu Tuilagi,
Yes, none.
which is likely now to go beyond the Six Nations with the news this week about Tuilagi's injury. Absolute mess of a scrum in the end, but England were controlling the mess. And get another penalty.
Standing up.
Any points will do
Standing up
here
at the
as
scrum.
England claw their way back in. Run by run.
Bang in front of post. Should be another 3 points. England within 4 points of the All Blacks. And you know, most of the dazzling rugby, the stuff that will go down in the memory, has been played by the All Blacks. But there's more than one way to win a game of rugby. And England, their line-out's good. They're kicking their goals. And New Zealand, crucially, are conceding a lot of penalties.
crowd encouraged. Certainly by the England pack.
Well, England are trying to skin the cat in a very different way to New Zealand at the moment, and it's not as easy on the eye, but the pack are taking into places they need to be. And that's the game of rugby.
Going through his routine, regardless of the straightness of the kick, it stays straight. He was right to be finicky, fastidious.
It's going to come a little defensively on Tompkins. Farrell, I want him to go flat to the line, but it's Ryan amongst the heavy traffic. You're battering them up front. You've got an extra man. Tompkins just wants an early ball. Just get him an early ball, get his two hands on it, and let him feel confident. At the moment, he's now thinking, oh, I can't get into this game.
Here's Vunipola.
One.
Piatow. Dag. England must get that lasso out very quickly for Israel. Dag. Cruden. Up steps Farrell, does well. Nice offload too to Ashton. Hardly seen him so far, Chris Ashton. Tom Wood looks for the handoff. That's great awareness from Wood. Finding Farrell, Vunipola, Launchbury. As England look to launch something in these final few seconds of this first half. Blimey, can they go down the tunnel in front? It's possible. Dixon, 12 trees. Dixon again, to Farrell, to Tompkins. And he's on his own a bit there, does well. Where's the scrum half? In comes Marler. Cruden. Well, he felt he had every right there. It was at the base for a long time.
Thank you. Yep.
Foden to Launchbury. Laws getting close to the touchline now. He's got long legs as well. Avoids the paint. Dixon, Vunipola. The rest is coming. They can have a 15-minute breather, but they wanted to go into that changing room.
Number two,
with just a few more.
Yeah.
Well, New Zealand will be relieved. They're going to clear this ball out and go in with a 4-point lead. They have been the dangerous team who's played most of the rugby with ball in hand, but when they haven't had the ball in hand, England have squeezed them, they've kicked the penalties, they've got some territory. Lancaster must say, you are very much in this game. England are.
What a fascinating half-time talk it is going to be for both sides. New Zealand, well, we know all about their second half surges. We saw it here last year, even in defeat. We saw it in Paris last week. England have to produce the kind of second half that we saw against Australia and more.
Well, what a breathless first 40 minutes. It appeared early on that having poked the bear 12 months ago, the All Black Bear was back to bite England, ruthless from the off from New Zealand as they constructed a 17-3 lead, but the home side's doggedness has hauled them back into it. 20-16 to the All Blacks, but England, it seems, are gaining momentum.
Thanks, Alex. There we go then. England kept New Zealand waiting, actually. They're on the field a long time before England emerged from the changing room. A new look changing room. Right, Brown colliding, that time unable to make the catch, but certainly making sure that Savir could make it either. There's Vunipola. England looking to piece it all together now. Not just the forwards, but the backs as well. Let it all come out, as it did 12 months ago in the second half. Farrell, Laws, 12 trees. Still a sin bin period with Kieran Reid off the field. Not much of it left, though.
Arriving player, play on.
There you can see Wyatt Crockett, who's come on for Tony Woodcock for New Zealand at the start of the second half, and they will see Crockett involved in this, the first scrum of the second period. Woodcock, we're told, a hamstring injury.
And I still think, as Kieran Reid waits to get back on the pitch in 2 minutes or so, England have almost got to say, if we use our backs, it's either coming off 9 or 10 or running back on the angle. Nothing's happening going wide. England look at their most dangerous in the loose when people like Courtney Laws are running. His timing just now of a pass to 12 trees was really good. The back's definitely under the weather at the moment. They've got to tackle, chase and not give anything away. It's up to the forwards here, I think, to take this game to the All Blacks.
6. Yes, not.
Down the tunnel it went, and England, they also went very powerfully there, and stronger in the scrum as the game goes on. Woodcock or Crockett, Brown, Ashton, and the knock on given, so it'll be another scrum in the end. New Zealand came out of that exchange rather well.
That was an interesting moment there, because England's scrum definitely putting Crockett under pressure. And as Kieran Reid comes back, Aaron Smith, because of that, was really struggling to get the ball away. England really good here, and this is a brilliant kick from Smith. Going backwards, you just think, whoa, what's he going to do here? I think it's Vunipola tries to get to him. England's number 8, waits, gets his timing right, and at the end, that is a hell of a kick.
Double prop change as well, with Charlie Faumuina coming on for Owen Franks. Franks didn't look injured, so he's able to come back if required. Woodcock did leave the field injured. Free kick, and that's what England did when they were under pressure in the first half at the scrum. Understandably, in a way, just got a little bit too keen.
Dixon there, almost too keen himself, but now England make the right decision. Chris Robshaw put him under pressure the previous scrum. Got a free kick this one.
I'm just not seeing it the same as you, so.
Craig Joubert telling Richie McCaw, I'm not seeing it the same as you. He's seeing England putting the pressure on.
And that's what Ref Cam is seeing.
Well, Ref Cam seeing New Zealand with a very early hit there.
Bind. 6. Yes, not.
Good reply from New Zealand.
Okay, we'll play ball away.
Vunipola off the base. Laws. Dixon. Farrell. Tompkins takes that one and gets across the gain line. 12 trees, does the same. Better from the England centre. Zoff. Dixon. And Hartley caught by Mia Lamu. Farrell. 12 trees. Little step. And again, across the gain line. And he's not held, so he's allowed to go on by the referee, but what he didn't want to do was get isolated. There's Cole. Dixon to Ashton. He really put his shoulder in there, Chris Ashton. Dixon again to Marler. Crowd responding again, Dixon. There's Farrell. Oh, Hartley. Stopped there by Kieran Reid. He's back on the field all right, isn't he?
Yep.
Up to Robshaw. Farrell, Marler once more. In goes Retallick, can't play it, he's off his feet. Ashton again, chips, this needs to break towards the corner. And it doesn't.
Yeah, in the end, that's a waste of some pretty good pressure from England. As New Zealand look for the restart. Tremendous work to start that wave of attack, you know. Hopefully we can see in a second the scrum, England under pressure. And the merits of Vunipola, we'll see that in a second. That's a good restart.
England measuring themselves against the highest standards, of course, but you couldn't imagine the All Blacks kicking the ball away there.
That's a great kick-off as well from Cruden, wasn't it?
That's not so good. And Farrell charging up the touchline to see if he can take it quickly.
Aaron Smith, measuring himself against the highest standards, comes very short there. Here's the scrum we were talking about. New Zealand, tight fight, really good. Watch Vunipola under pressure. He doesn't go far, but bang, 1-2 metres there. That gives you a chance to play again. Vital.
Joe Launchbury is off for that man, Jeff Parling. Launchbury clutching his shoulder, so Parling, a very good replacement to have, of course. Well, the line-out worked initially, then it falls to Smith and Nonu. Mike Brown. That's one for Ashton to chase. And Laws too, but it's taken by Dagg. Aaron Smith. Nonu. Charged down by Hartley. Interesting bounce! Vunipola couldn't take it. Still interesting, the other way this time. Miralamu tries to line up McCaw and does. So too did Hartley, he was charging down a moment ago. Might have taken its toll as well. So England lost Launchbury, Hartley down and clearly hurt. Nonu goes wide with the pass. Reed again hanging out wide. Piatau over the top. England need to get a man across. It's Mike Brown, and he gets there. Crowd appreciate it.
Such bravery there.
His teammates will really appreciate that too. Mike Brown put his head where it could really hurt. Vunipola sets it up. Hartley is trying to get across to join his teammates here. Farrell, has that gone out?
Fall out.
Well, it has now.
Yeah, players didn't retreat, so it's a penalty.
Hartley still in trouble.
Must fall back.
Well, whatever you say about England here, the commitment is huge. Hartley, a fantastic tackle, takes the bang there.
Yeah, you want the penalty. Okay.
The opposite of England, New Zealand looking for 3 points to build a 7-point lead again. And then Mike Brown, we saw Hartley's full commitment. Here it is again. New Zealand show a great counter-attack. Piatau with a really good quick kick. And then Mike Brown, flat out, has to make this his, has to take the hammering. He's down and he's up, and he's a very brave fullback. Woof.
But New Zealand could be the first side to register points in this second half. Courtesy of the offside after the kick. Cruden. Ooh, it's going to be tight. Too tight, but it's still danger not over. And 12-3, rather ironically, comes away with the ball for England. Now he will be isolated for a moment, but he won't mind because of the metres that he covered there. Farrell. Tompkins. England trying to show that fight that came pouring through around about this stage of the game last year when New Zealand had hit back with a couple of early second half scores. Up from Dagg to Farrell again.
Well, we've talked about New Zealand's brilliance in the loose against England's organisation in the tight. Now you can say at the moment it's the class of the All Blacks against this indomitable character that Stuart Lancaster seems to be inculcated into his team. Easily could have been a penalty there against Marler for blocking, but he was straight through.
Hartley can't shake it off. Tom Youngs comes on. So two Leicester Tigers off the bench in Parling and Youngs, two Lions as well. Cruden, Nonu, Piatau. Tompkins with the tackle. Smith to Cruden. This is Foden's. His fullback instincts coming into play there.
Run away, two black! Onside!
Dixon, 12 trees. He's got a big boot.
And Laws has got to stop.
Joubert to Dag. And away go New Zealand again with Joubert. Oh, what a handoff! But Ashton, well, he's known for his tracking. He tracked back there and he kicks long. Oh, and was Crockett in the way there. The referee immediately held out an arm. I don't think Ashton was going to get to the ball, but he had a right to chase it. And the block from Crockett leads to the penalty.
Well, this game is coming.
Just listen here, Stu.
Kick it bounced over here because it rolls. So you want the penalty where it bounced.
Sorry.
17, quite lazy, just changes his angle here.
Yeah, Richie McCaw actually was taken out by Jeff Parling. Definitely.
Yeah.
But there's no good, if the referee doesn't see it, he doesn't see it. McCaw was taken out by Jeff Parling, and it's a sign that maybe New Zealand are rattled. Ashton takes the advantage, and that is definitely a penalty. But when Ashton comes away earlier, exactly the same happened. Jeff Parling took out McCaw, but if the officials don't see it, there's nothing you can do.
Can't be happening again, it feels. We're hearing on Dylan Hartley. He's having a concussion assessment at the moment. So are the first points of the second half going to be England's? They are. Cruden hit the post. Farrell didn't.
And maybe England are getting lucky. This is what Richie McCaw's upset about. Goes to make the tackle. That is a penalty there. And I can't quite see how Joubert doesn't see that.
Number 10, Owen Farrell. Makes
1 point in it.
19, New Zealand 20.
Referee missed that one. McCaw, well, he knows himself. He's got a few in his time. But it was pretty blatant, wasn't it? As was Crockett's on Ashton. 12 trees kicks again to Dag. From Piatow, Mike Brown is trying to make it, but Lee Dixon was always going to be that little bit nearer. And the communication between the two was good. It was 17-3, remember, at one point. Dixon, Farrell, Laws, roaming ominously for New Zealand in this second half. He really is. Courtney Laws. He possesses some engine. Tom Young's too. Back to Farrell now already. This is sharper. 12 trees, none of them. Little personal contest there between the two. Dixon, Vunipola.
Again, he's winning that line, isn't he, Billy Vunipola?
He's lost the ball out the side though, but it didn't go forward, says the referee. Dixon to Farrell. Tom Wood, England's man of the match last year. Back on the All Black side. England couldn't hold it at the breakdown, where many feel they won the match last year at that breakdown. Messam, Piatow tries to step, and Courtney Laws is there again. He's everywhere at the moment, is Courtney Laws. But this time, as England fail to stay on their feet, it's a New Zealand penalty. But this is a scrap now, isn't it?
Yeah, England are coming very hard at New Zealand. It's extremely physical in the middle of the game. It's out wide. New Zealand look dangerous, but with the ball in hand, England are making real indentations now.
And England just taking the ball to New Zealand now, finding that Galen where before there was no space and no time. Now Farrell's getting the ball in his hands. He's got 2 or 3 different options. They're beginning to win again. There's no doubt where the momentum is right now in this game. But we know the All Blacks are so dangerous just from one piece of possession.
Voice, of course, of Will Greenwood, pitch side today. And he was on the other side of the line, inspired so many in England attacking move. Here are the New Zealanders attacking with Nonu. Now England would love to create something in this second half now, but McCaw and Smith off the floor. Whitelock ran into his own man, but no clear obstruction there. The call from the referee seems right. Cruden caught, side down in fact, Nonu, Whitelock. Aaron Smith, Nonu again. This is where New Zealand trust their retention and they're patient, they wait. Pick the right moment to strike. Israel Dag, Aaron Smith, Aaron Cruden, Retallick and Crockett.
Okay.
Little scrap off the ball between Retallick and Laws, but here go New Zealand almost up to that England 22. Ben Smith goes in to help out with the forwards, but the referee says holding on again. It's been a regular theme of the match. It's an official, Craig Joubert, who likes the ball to come back quickly, very quickly.
Get out of the way, so our cleaners can't get past.
He's not the captain, he's a get back. Get back.
Whoa. Excuse me. Owen, mate, I don't care. If I'm choosing to speak to him, you don't get involved. Penalty stands, holding on.
Owen Farrell, he's not the captain, get back in the push. Chip off the old block.
England get the penalty, but we are seeing Sabia a real threat, scoring tries, making tries. New Zealand will pull wild, and what this guy Surveyor will do is pick this little line, and watch when he gets through the gap, coming on the inside shoulder. His offloading ability is superb. He's a real danger, but at the moment, as Will says, momentum is very much with the men in white.
It's the point where Billy Vunipola runs out of petrol. Gives so much. Ben Morgan, another very able replacement try last week, gave that England victory the gloss that it required so badly in the second half. In goes Retallick, he's coming back at the line out now. Mialamu. Smith, once more England forcing him to go very high and therefore not quite get the distance. Picked up by Robshaw. Dixon. Morgan. What he did to Argentina from closer in. Farrell. Tompkins just backs his strength there. And he was right to. Parling. Dixon. Ashton getting more involved now. That's good news for England. 12 trees. Dixon again. Farrell. Ashton. Somehow didn't knock that on.
Hands on.
Dixon caught. That's a great reaction from Crockett. England still have it though. Robshaw. Hands all over that.
Missed the clean out.
Laws. Parling.
7.
A warning for McCaw. Penalty. England have a chance for the lead.
Well, after being 7-3 down, English effort now is reaching towards the epic. And McCaw is very unhappy, but England must be so pleased. Courtney Laws, his little offloading game. They're getting at New Zealand around the fringes. They're getting the gain line and they're forcing the penalties. Just watch this again. Second man's a soft, delayed pass. Courtney Laws doesn't get over the gain line, but Parling does, and that forces the penalty. England 2 metres either side of the breakdown are being really smart.
It looked like a penalty at the previous breakdown as well when Robshaw was trying to get it back.
Well, now the ghosts of southwest London are coming back to New Zealand. They're in a huddle. McCaw is saying, not again, but they are looking rattled.
Farrell trying to equal his points total of last season in this fixture. And he's done it. Now, if a place kicker can be intrepid, this man is a very, very brave young man. He boldly takes on the challenge. I know he'd normally expect to get that, but there's pressure on that. There really is. And Farrell makes it look like it's easy.
Playing with ball in hand, Miles, doesn't mean going wide. When England are doing a short little pop, short little offloads, keeping the ball moving away from the points of contact. So there are no big targets for the All Blacks to hit. It's outstanding performance in the last 20 minutes.
Restart from Cruden, well taken by Famuina. Cole's on for Mialama in the front row. Aaron Smith to Cruden. Tackle by Farrell. Nonu. New Zealand deciding it's high time to reassert themselves here. Cruden, it's a poor pass to him, and then he got the touch up there, didn't he?
Well, that's what Owen Farrell does give you, not always subtlety. And Dixon, he's giving England pace.
Oh, that's giving New Zealand the ball back.
Correct.
In a situation they will love. Dag. Foden tries to get back. Big tackle, that lost control, knock on.
Forcing the game there, Israel Dag. Normally very good at keeping the ball alive. Lee Dixon just needs to take a few deep breaths at the moment. What England don't need is a frenetic, broken field game, bringing the likes of Savea, Nonu and Pilatau into the game.
Yeah, I got it.
What England want is dynamism around the fringes.
England have talked all week about the belief that is there again, like it was last year. Maybe a little lack of belief on this one, though.
Here it goes, 7.
As England lose the control at the line out. It's been such a key area for them, but Ben Morgan's got back. They're getting out of the holes here, England. They keep putting themselves in. The last couple of minutes, they're in another nearly there with a charge down. Can't keep doing that. Can't keep giving New Zealand easy opportunities.
It's breathless, isn't it? Worry for England at the moment. Tom Youngs has come on. His first line out was stolen, and his second one has gone into the all-familiar zone of over the top to no one but the opposition. Now, he's lost one short, he's lost one long. Under pressure here, New Zealand sense England a weakness. It's the only area of real weakness at the moment.
Goes for the banker at the front, and Ward came forward and made sure, but it's New Zealand who have the ball. Smith, now England's numbers will be really stretched here. Foden's come forward, he's got to try and get back. Ben Smith, there's Mike Brown, there's Piatau, and there's the try line, and New Zealand almost over it. Scramble from England, penalty coming. New Zealand want more. In goes Retallick. Cruden. Nonu through the gap. Savea again, Mike Brown. Can he roll over and score? Yes, he has. Best team in the world for a reason.
Ma Nonu. What a piece of play from Ma Nonu there. His mate Carter's been off. He hasn't been in the game, but Nonu has produced a miracle ball there, and this guy Savea has been brilliant. His second try, but he owes it all to Ma Nonu. New Zealand switching it one way. Piatau keeps it alive, but the killer moment comes now. This pass from Nonu is wondrous, and what about that for a finish from Savea? I could think of one centre who's graced this ground who will be drooling at that if it hadn't been against England. What a try, and what a ball from Nonu.
Well,
unbelievable offload, the dog and determination of England to get back in this game. Then we talked about the brilliance, the one-off brilliance. This is absolute game on. They're going toe-to-toe in a slugfest. But if you want an offload under pressure, drag two men in and just stick it in a breadbasket, Nonu, that is 10 years of experience and learning at the top level of the game.
it was a beauty. New Zealand in front again. Savea with 2 tries here again. That was the case last season, but will he be on the winning side this time? New Zealand 27, England 22.
And the difference between the two teams are 2 sublime offloads. That from Ma Nonu and Kieran Reid up front, who was the man who gave the finisher, Surveyor, his first try. New Zealand are winning this because of 2 moments of sheer attacking genius, but England are banging this game.
Played by McCaw. See, Ben Youngs is on for Lee Dixon, joins brother Tom. There's Mike Brown. Ben Youngs, father Nick was a winner against New Zealand back in 1983. Tom Youngs to Ben. Billy 12 trees. Morgan. Oh, power from Morgan. We're seeing a lot of that, aren't we? Youngs missed out Marler, given to Wood. With England having gone in front, New Zealand came straight back. Can England do the same? Stolen on the floor. And Whitelock.
Onside your White.
Aaron Smith is carried back into the 22 or passed back in. And Dag kicks long, and Mike Brown has a long way to go back.
He's not going to counter this one, is he, Mike Brown? That's a smart kick from Israel Dag, who's a clever kicker with the ball. Brown's kick's not a bad one, but it's given New Zealand 40 metres of territory. That was a big turnover for the All Blacks there. Tom Youngs has not had the impact he would have liked. And I think that's Sevilla in again with a turnover, wasn't it? What a game.
Smith to Nonu. Down goes McCaw.
General play.
Cole's got it for England. Somehow they need to establish some territory inside that New Zealand half.
Use it! Yes, hands on!
Charged down by Smith on Youngs. And it's more pressure here on Tom Youngs.
New Zealand seem just to be weathering a little bit of a storm here, putting the pressure on, and we know when New Zealand get into the 22 how dangerous they can be. Now Toby Flood is coming on, and I was thinking if England have to chase a game and not rely on a kick to win, then he's a good option. Farrell is the man coming off. I assume he's carried an injury because England do not like taking their man off.
Courtney Laws. So that's a couple now for Youngs to Wood and to Laws, and he'll feel better after that. Flood on for Farrell. Another Leicester Tiger, and another in Ben Youngs clears, but it's still New Zealand with control of the ball inside the England half, so Farrell rather gingerly leaves the field.
The great news is when you look at players like Farrell, one thing about England, technically they might still be second to New Zealand, but they do not fear the All Blacks one iota.
Whitelock. Famuina just managed to hold on to it. It's Luatua now on for New Zealand. Aaron Smith, short ball to Reed.
What?
Those Coles. Oh, on the space here. Maybe. Flood just couldn't get it down on the foot. That's Ben Smith. Aaron Smith, it's good quick ball from that situation. Mike Brown needs to get away from Savia, not easy, but he's done it. Mike Brown, is he the man to grab it and shake it again and make things happen? Ben Youngs. Israel Dag. Charles Piatow. Ben Youngs on his own here, but there is a little bit of space there. And England chasing with Foden. On his own here, Foden. Puts pressure on Dag though. And at last, England into the New Zealand half.
Israel Dag never messes around. He won't come off his right foot. Great runner that he is. He doesn't take risks. That started where Aaron Cruden tried to force a ball away that Dan Carter would not have done in a million years. Mike Brown beats Savea, and that has been a rarity this afternoon.
It's another line out for England that doesn't work. Just lost that platform when they needed it most. You've got to be
Onside
fair.
your White.
You need to be on top of your game in every
No
minute of the
White.
game
7.
against the New Zealand All Blacks. Here comes Foden, but he's seen off there by Piatau. 10 minutes left, and New Zealand having all the ball. Faumuina never takes it cleanly, but
22.
never drops it. That one might have been lost on the floor,
22.
but as England
Roll away.
are penalised at the breakdown, the game
Roll away.
might be lost on the board now.
Well, even if this kick goes over, England's still only 8 points behind, and 10 minutes is plenty. Once again, Aaron Smith, who's been under quite a lot of pressure though today, he starts this with a very good high kick. And Piatau does well, but Piatau's got no chance unless the kick's good.
Great kick. Piatau never took his eyes off the ball. Just the little 50-50s. To start this second half, England were winning everything. The loose ball, the high balls, the balls on the deck. Suddenly those little tap downs, the high ones, they're falling into an all-black hand. This 3 points would make life very, very difficult to go 2 scores clear, but certainly not over. We know this Twickenham crowd will lift the boys for the last 10.
Hit the post before, does not want to do it here. Crucial moment of the match. And as we said about Farrell and his nerve with those kicks at goal, as we've said about that man Carter over the years and his nerve, Cruden comes through the test, and Steve Hansen can shuffle around a little bit more ease in that seat now than he was doing 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, okay, time is on.
2-score gap. Up goes Morgan. Youngster Flood, caught by Coles.
Morgan's had a great impact, hasn't he?
Really has. Marler.
Roll away, Black.
And there's Wood again. Somehow England mustn't tire here. Laws. Can they give themselves a chance for a dramatic late score? Not if Crockett and New Zealand have anything to do with it. Carvalho down the short side. Savia looking for a hat-trick, but he needs the ball first. And on that occasion, he can't take it.
Great counter-up from New Zealand, and they're so dangerous. Savia almost through as England try and go. And McCaw floors his opposite man, the captain, Robshaw.
Okay, yeah, no, Bruce.
Short to Robshaw then.
He can't move, don't stand in it.
Youngs. Both of them. Ben Youngs again. Up goes Ashton. Can he challenge? Well, he gives it a go. He has to be aware that he can't take the man out in the air. Morgan going through, and he had Wood outside just momentarily. But the arms weren't free. And then they stay tight around the ball. And that means yet another penalty. Kieran Reid, what a player.
That was a very good kick from Ben Youngs. We talked about Aaron Smith. That was a cracker.
And don't forget, sure you haven't, live only on Sky Sports, the Ashes start on Wednesday. Australia against England, first test. Brisbane, Sky Sports 2. Book yourself in for that one. In the unmissable category, as was this game. And it hasn't disappointed.
Big game players, big name, Kieran Reid. 50-50 ball, Morgan's had an outstanding impact. Down, tackle, up, release, in, over, class. Wood, Laws, Cole, they all hit him. Stay strong. The forward dominance just been wrestled back by these All Blacks. That's why, so far this year, they're 12 from 12.
Trying to make it the perfect 14 play in Dublin, their final match of the year next weekend. It seems they will be heading to Dublin still unbeaten. Only once England back-to-back victories versus New Zealand, and that looks like it's going to stay that way. Big effort coming on here from the New Zealand pack. Certainly haven't had it all their own way in that department today. England very strong with the forwards and can take great pride from that. But what they wanted was the win. Caballo Out it goes to Dag, takes on Foden, out to Ben Smith. Finding himself back on the wing there. But England staying in it just.
Psychologically smart from New Zealand. They're taking on England at the area where England caused them so much pain in the first half. They're driving line out, and then when they have to move it, they're not afraid to go wide very quickly. But England's wide defence, very good. No space there for Ben Smith. With Brown and Foden there, he was always going to be struggling to hold on to control.
Thought it was changing. It seemed to be. I'm sure those England supporters have been only too aware of the New Zealand capacity to get right back on their game when it matters most. And the quality of the New Zealand scores setting the two sides apart this afternoon.
Yes, man. Wait, 7.
Ben Youngs to Toby Flood. England going for it here. Billy 12 trees to Mike Brown. Great stuff from Brown again. Morgan, Youngs. But it's so hard when they're chasing the game. Tom Youngs. Trees. Tompkins looks for a handoff of his own this time.
Arriving player, turnover good.
This is where New Zealand have excelled. They've ripped the ball out of here time and time again, and if they don't get it,
black forward.
they get the decision. And the capacity crowd here watching now the world's #1 team go to another victory. One loss in their last 33 before today. That loss, of course, here at Twickenham.
How many players from both teams were on there?
But it seems that McCaw is not going to have to suffer a repeat.
And it's not because England haven't played decently, because even though they look as if they're going to lose this game, this has been by some distance their outstanding performance in November. Their forwards have come back to them time and again. You know, we wondered, Courtney Lawes, his club form has been brilliant, his international form has been very good. He stepped up another level today. He is starting to look as if he's there or thereabouts world class, and that's a massive bonus for him.
And the cap count as well, New Zealand, don't forget, 842 going into this game from their starting 15 in comparison to England's 314. Not an excuse, but certainly something to factor in when you're talking about the development of this England side. Stuart Lancaster saying this week they're round about the midpoint of the cycle here.
Yeah, the foundations are very, very solid. There is an awful lot of work to do, because if England are going to win a World Cup here at Twickenham, they've got to look at what New Zealand have been able to do with ball in hand and not match it, but get somewhere nearer it than they are at the moment.
Cavallo to Cruden Sarvia, off that wing again and looking really threatening now. There's Kieran Reid, who started it all with that wonderful offload again. Sumptuous little inside ball. The first couple of minutes of the match rather set the tone. Because of that, England's recovery full of credit, but they are now spending the majority, the final quarter of the game, stuck inside their own half.
Well, they've done the magical stuff, New Zealand, for their tries, and now they're just closing this game out. Night's coming down at Twickenham. It's starting to look very black for England. They have been superb, I think, for an hour of this game. But New Zealand look as if they are going to win this one now.
Collapsing more. Number 5.
The Flood's got to go for some length here. QBE man of the match. Well, I think Kieran Reid has been good, but that guy, Julian Joubert, superb. That's a great try, but he gave a beautiful line that really put that man under pressure. Reid created it.
He was ill last week, wasn't he? Back to his normal business of making others feel ill. Opposing wingers, opposing defenders.
Run away, Black!
2 tries here last year, 2 tries here this year. Laws to 12 trees. Ben Youngs to Morgan. Flood is good now on for England. Youngs, Flood, Rob Shaw bravely goes on, as you'd expect from him. As we've seen from England, again, can't doubt them on that front, not one bit. And clearly so much to work with, but I'll bring you in on this in a moment.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious the areas that need addressing as well. There's Parling. Rob Shaw. Good. And the crowd in full voice at the end as well.
Now let it go, Black! Let it go!
As if to acknowledge their team's efforts here. Ben Youngs to Toby Flood. Billy 12 trees. Looked tired there, didn't he?
Well, that
And that will be it.
That Flood to 12 trees summed up the difference between the two teams.
Well, New Zealand teams don't do revenge, they say. The pain of defeat never goes away. But today, should we put it like this, they've sorted an issue. And now with that job done at Twickenham, the world champions will go to Ireland looking to be the first team to go through a calendar year unbeaten. But England came back at them, they really did. And I'd love to hear your summary on not just the New Zealand performance, but what England need to take out of this and work on.
Well, this is England's best performance of November. They have foundations, but what they didn't do last year when they beat New Zealand was keep playing with the ambition, keep playing with the pace. They've got to do that. They've got to start trying to find a little bit more behind. New Zealand had it. People like Reid and that man, Julian Joubert, my man of the match, was saying his first try, the line he took coming off his wing to give Reid the chance to give that wonder pass was quite sensational. And his finish for the second one announces him as one of the world's leading wingers. He hardly did anything wrong. New Zealand was so much sharper than England when they were wide, when they had ball in the loose play. But England's tight play was very good. England were proud. England were defensively strong apart from the first 20. It's England's best win. It's a great win for New Zealand because England took them all the way today, make no doubt of that. That was a fine New Zealand win because England were very good.
At times it was thunderous from the England pack, but lightning has not struck twice here. England with the victory last year, New Zealand with the spoils this year. And England not quite taking the Twickenham crowd where they wanted to be. But for a moment, there was a feeling that Chris Robshaw's team might just be able to get over the gain line again. But the final answers, the final responses from New Zealand were the winning ones. And Richie McCaw, without Dan Carter, his great mate, for the majority of the game, but he was on at the end, and he's now with Graham.
Richie, 12 months is a long time to stew on one result. Does that put the record straight?
Oh, it's a hell of a test match. You know, you had two pretty committed teams going at it, and that's what test match footy should be about. But we're certainly very happy to come away with the points. You know, a lot of hard work went in during the week, and we had to work pretty hard for it.
Start was crucial. At the end of the day, you win a game by 8, you go with a 17-point start. How fast were you out of the blocks today?
Yeah, well, we perhaps, you know, got a little bit lucky that first one. The ball sort of went our way, but I think test footy is about taking your chances when they come, whether it's in the first minute or the last minute. And you know, I guess that's one thing we pride ourselves on. When you get an opportunity, you nail it. But because there aren't that many in Test footy. But yeah, it was good to get away to a start. But you know, as I say, it was an 80-minute sort of job to get home.
Around about the hour mark when England went 22-20 ahead, Richie, was the ghost of last year starting to creep up in you a bit?
Oh, look, if those sort of thoughts into your mind, you know, you're probably thinking about the wrong thing. I think you know, the guys that have been around a while know that you just got to keep believing in what you're doing, and you know, perhaps we just didn't play at the right end of the field for a bit. So once we got down there and held the ball, you know, the pressure came and we got the points.
There were times in the match where you looked a little baffled by some of the decisions that were being made at the breakdown. How did you straighten those out?
Look, it's easy to moan at the ref or, you know, whatever, but I think, you know, you got to look at what you're doing, and I think we were guilty of, you know, perhaps, you know, going to ground a bit early as a ball carrier, and you know, just we didn't listen to what the ref was ruling for the first part. But I thought we adapted well in the second half, and you know, evened up a bit.
You're one game away from a perfect season, 14 out of 14. How big a week's it going to be next week?
Oh, look, it's going to be another huge week, but you know, we'll get over tonight. You know, a lot of energy went into tonight. You know, we had our old mate played his 100th test, even though they didn't get through the whole game. But we'll celebrate that, and yeah, one more to go for the year, but we want to make sure we do it right.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, a big win for the All Blacks today. A big week for them to come as they head to Dublin. A big week for Ireland as well, actually. Potentially Brian O'Driscoll's last crack at New Zealand next week at the Aviva. But Sean Fitzpatrick and Sir Clive Woodward alongside, that is a big itch scratched for New Zealand today. Not at their best, but how good were they to come through and win it?
No, not at their best, but they'll be very happy with that. As Richie said, it was a tough day at the office, and England played very well. New Zealand played well in parts, but I think what we said before the game was this team is better than what it was 12 months ago, the All Black team, and potentially this team probably would have lost that game tonight because England threw everything at them, and I thought Richie and the guys played very well.
Yeah. Clive, we'll bring you in just a moment, but first of all, let's hear from the England captain, Chris Robshaw, who's again ready to talk to Graham.
Chris, congratulations on the effort today, commiserations on the result. Was that the fish that got away today?
Pardon?
Was that a fish that got away today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they are the #1 team in the world, rightly so, but our objective all week was to come here and win for our fans. We had 2 good performances last week, and we wanted to finish it off well. I think the difference between them and us at the moment is as soon as they get a chance, they are clinical. And that's why they are the kind of the benchmark of world rugby, and why everyone wants to beat them.
Will you go away and kick yourselves for the first 15 minutes of that game? Because effectively, you gave yourself an awful lot to do after that, didn't you?
No, there was a couple of errors, myself included, a couple of silly penalties that allowed them to keep the scoreboard ticking over. I mean, it's never easy giving them 7 points in the first 2 minutes and then playing catch up. But credit to the lads. I mean, the amount of pressure we put on them at times was outstanding, and we need to take that into when we meet up again in January.
You've had a sort of a 40-minute performance against Australia, same against Argentina, sort of 60 minutes today. If you ever get to the point where you string 80 minutes together, you're going to do some damage, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I'm extremely proud of all the guys out there. They've been outstanding for the last three weeks, and we're going in the right direction. I think that's the important thing. We'll keep on moving, we'll keep on learning, and hopefully when we next meet up, we'll be stronger for it.
Is that high as painful as it looks?
I mean, everyone's pretty battered and beaten up out there, but that's what Test rugby's about, isn't it? It's pretty physical, and credit to them today.
Go get some ice. Thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah, Chris Robshaw showing the scars of battle there, but I think the defeat will be probably a little more painful this evening. But it is the Hillary Shield that is heading back to New Zealand, and we're about to have the presentation, so we'll hand you back once again to Stuart and to Miles.
Thanks, Alex. There is the Hillary Shield. We'll be back in New Zealand hands. Of course, England on tour to New Zealand next year. Today's game really sets up that tour, doesn't it? 3-match test tour, and then New Zealand return here next autumn for the first match of the QBE series. And that will be the last meeting between the two sides before the Rugby World Cup. Both will be trying to get to the final right here. Interesting listening to Chris Robshaw there, Stuart. I mean, clinical is the word, isn't it? New Zealand show it time and time again. England have to start to show it and execute under that sort of pressure that they were under as well today. And also those moments when England had got in front, I think when they look back, there were 2 or 3 mistakes, a lack of control at a point where had there been that control, and we probably would have seen it from New Zealand at that point. I mean, the history shows this year how many they have won. If England had showed that control, it might have been a little bit different.
Yeah, I think the latter point is probably one about experience. As for the former one, in terms of being clinical, you can be clinical when you've got the ability to understand your running lines. If you watch England's running lines throughout November, too often they have gone where their legs take them, not where their heads want them to go. When Surveyor steps infield to give Reid space, when Reid takes him to touch to give Surveyor the try, that's the difference. That's real class.
Well, it has been another remarkable year for New Zealand rugby, even by their ridiculously high standards. No side has ever marched through an international calendar year unbeaten, and with one more victory in Dublin next week, that's what these All Blacks will have achieved. That kind of record, well, it is the stuff of greatness, isn't it? Of course, they nearly did it last year. Defeat here souring their off-season, giving that man a pretty awful start to his sabbatical, Richie McCaw. But New Zealand returned here with a desire, maybe an obsession, to come back and put the record straight, a winning record that is now straight on course to be a history-making one. New Zealand, the emerging history boys, lifting the Hillary Shield again. Can Ireland stop them?